Good morning and welcome to the VSA Morning Miner. It's Tuesday, the 9th of September. I'm joined by Paul Rankin. Paul, how are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well. Bright sunny day and lots of news out.
Yeah, there is indeed. Big news in the mining sector is obviously Anglo-American and Teck merger of equals.
Well, they call it a merger of equals, but it's going to be about 60 some percent versus 30 some percent shareholder participation or contribution to the combined company, with Anglo American being the larger of the two parties. But otherwise, they're going to essentially equally manage the new business going forward here. And it just remind investors out there that both of these companies, both Anglo American and Teck, had previous approaches in the last 12 months individually to be taken over by someone else. So, with the right sizing of the Anglo American business, with the shedding of some non-core assets to them, as well as Teck as well, doing some cleaning up of their number of projects in portfolio. It makes relatively good sense, I would say, for the two of them now to merge up in order to be able to compete in the global space with the BHPs and Rios and so forth, as far as equal-sized companies. This particular merge up too will have more of a focus than the other companies, as well, toward the um, climate friendly materials, more so than either BHP or Rio at this stage.
Yeah, obviously the reaction so far is heavily in favour of Teck. That's jumped about 20%. On the deal, Anglo has not moved as much. Obviously, the execution issues on the restructuring weighing on the share price there, despite the special dividend of about $4.5 billion that will go to Anglo shareholders as a result of the deal.
And they still have the De Beers portfolio in order to deal with as well, underneath Anglo's.
Yeah, we know that the target structure for Anglo American is far more profitable, but clearly the ability to restructure and spin off those other parts of the business is still in question. And until that's done, until there's clarity on that, it's going to continue to be probably Teck in favour of Anglo, but it will create a serious copper player that is up in the top couple.
That's right, and I think the chancellor here in the UK will be happy too that they will retain their primary listing in the new company on the LSE, which means that the taxes would end up coming here as well.
We also had news out yesterday from Sierra Madre. They provided an update on their expansion programs following the deal last month,
Yes,
raising 19.5 million.
Yes, that's right. We've got some details on their planned two-stage expansion of the La Guitarra gold mine milling complex. The mine had been running for a little while now above design capacity, and this is to formalize the expansion of the La Guitarra plant by 50% to 800 tons per day by the second quarter of 2026. The first expansion involves the construction of a paste backfill and thickener plant, which would help them extract a higher percentage of the raw ore underground to not have to leave as many pillars. And the second is the addition of a fourth ball mill and a second cone crusher, as well as more conveying capacity through the mine. Also, subsequently, there would be a new fully permitted dry stack tailings facility built as well, which would allow a second crushing circuit to otherwise allow them to expand yet again out to more than 1,200 tons per day by the third quarter of 2027.
Yeah, this is all good news. Probably slightly ahead of what we'd expected before. I mean, if you look at the progression through the year, we've been looking at a cash flow funded expansion to 1,000 tons per day, probably over the next 3 years. The deal we thought would enable them to accelerate that and go to 640 tons per day by the end of this year, and then 1,000 over the following 24 months. And now ultimately getting to 1,200 to 1,500 tons a day. So it's a positive outcome in terms of our expectations. Our long-term model caps out at 1,000 tons per day, and we are expecting an increase in earnings by 2028 to $73 million of revenue and EBITDA of $37 million as well. So potentially that could be exceeded. Obviously, the company are also doing exploration drilling, so that will help inform what the grades longer term might be. And obviously, a lot of the work in the mill will be to improve recoveries. So there are some potential upsides to our current forecasts, and we're currently assuming about 21 million US in capex over the next couple of years, which does incorporate the tailings. But the deal does mean that this is all fully funded by existing resources, including cash flow.
Yeah, which is good news there.
Yeah. Drilling results out yesterday from Luca Mining as well.
Yes, that's right. Luca Mining put out some drilling results. This is expansion and exploration drilling on additional vein extensions to the current producing veins there at the Tahuehueto operating mine there in Mexico. The specific good news they talked about was the surface drilling on the Santiago deposit that had a 14-meter intercept of 6.7 grams gold and another of 6 meters at 9 grams gold. And then on underground drilling, where they're drilling to depth and further strike extensions to the Creston and Perdido veins, they've continued to hit those veins in every hole they've drilled so far, which is very good news for the long for the reliability for much more ore to come from both of these production veins at this point. They did hit some narrow new breccia zones as well that have high grade gold in them, and their vein widths or breccias between 0.4 and 1.2 meters in thickness, but they are north of the current workings, so essentially beyond the current known resources at this stage.
Obviously, Andrew was recently at both Sierra Madre and Luca. And Luca has executed a turnaround over the last 12 months or so and had a strong re-rating off the back of that. So now investors are looking at where the share price can go after this, and this expansion or this exploration drilling, which could inform the expansion potential, is a key catalyst for the future growth prospects. So yeah, good results which will inform that program.
Yes, it is.
We've also got an update from Pulsar, which VSA has just published an update video on.
Yes, that's right. Pulsar Helium has signed a limited notice to proceed with a company called Chart Industries to advance the Topaz Helium project. Specifically, it's for the design, engineering, and procurement for a helium and CO2 capture plant facility. And this is on the Jetstream program, including Jetstream 1, plus the pending drill out of further Jetstream wells there in the United States. And that drilling contract scheduled to begin late this month on a 10-hole program. So making further progress to produce heat.
Very good. All right, Paul, thanks for your thoughts.
Very good. See you tomorrow.
See you then.
This podcast has been produced and edited by VSA Capital. It is intended for information purposes and not as investment advice. The information is intended for recipients who understand the risks associated with equity investments in smaller companies. Please do your own research and do not rely on a single source when making an investment decision. VSA Capital may derive fees from this content and seeks to do business with the companies mentioned.